The last day of the Italian season, and Milan needed a win to have any hope of taking the title away from Juventus. They played Champions League chasing Roma. The Rossoneri were handed the advantage just 5 minutes into the match, Leandro Cufré conceding the penalty. Kaká with the expert finish. The injured Andrei Shevchenko joined the Milan fans, but has hinted he may leave the club this summer. Philippe Mexes' headed goal added to Milan's nerves. There was good news for Roma and Italy fans when Francesco Totti made his comeback from an injury. In added time, Roma undid their good work. Cesare Bovo with the foul and a red card. Amoroso scored the penalty. Milan had to wait for news of Juve's match against Reggina. That match was played in the southern port city of Bari, the majority of the 56,000 fans cheering on the visitors from the north. Reggina weren't going to let Juve have it all their own way. But halfway through the first half, Juve got the breakthrough. David Trezeguet with the goal. After a troubled week, the Juve fans had reason to celebrate in the final minute. Alessandro Del Piero with a typically brilliant goal. Juventus claim their 29th Scudetto. Match of the season, Lyon entertained Le Mans. The visitors took a surprise lead through Graffite. Striker Fred was named in the Brazilian World Cup squad. He celebrated by scoring the equaliser. Lyon are Ligue 1's top scorers. They were gifted a bizarre second by Le Mans goalkeeper Johan Pele, defender Chris the scorer. Sylvain Wiltord increased the Champions lead. Neither team had anything but pride to play for. Fred beat substitute goalkeeper Rodolphe Roche to make it 4-1. Player of the Year, Juninho, also got in on the celebrations. His free kick, too good for Roche. The rout continued after the break, Fred completing his hat-trick. Sidney Govou added a 7th. In the final minute, Thiago made it 8-1. Lyon showing off all their championship qualities. Rennes faced Lille in a crucial match for both teams. The visitors needed a draw to finish third and qualify for the Champions League. Rennes required a victory and for Marseille to fail to win in order to clinch 4th spot. They gained the early advantage. Alexander Frey with the header. The Swiss international then spurned another chance. Lille coach Claude Puel was named French Coach of the Year. His team went close to an equaliser. Ahead at the break, Rennes had the better of the second half chances. Frey doubling their lead. With Marseille winning at Bordeaux, Claude Puel's team looked set to lose third place. Nicolas Fauvergue giving them hope with 14 minutes left. That prompted Lille to bombard the Rennes goal. Mathieu Bodmer grabbing them a dramatic 86th minute equaliser and a Champions League place. Rennes missing out on Europe altogether. There was still much to play for as second-placed Hamburg hosted third-placed Werder. Up for grabs a place in the Champions League group stage. Visitors Werder struck first through Ivan Klasnic. In an open match, there were chances at both ends. Sergei Barbadez equalised for Hamburg after the break. Hamburg went close to going ahead several times. Ailton with the worst miss. Hamburg have lacked a clinical finisher. Werder have Miroslav Klose, his 25th goal in 25 starts. Werder had a great chance to seal the match late on. Tim Borowski missed, but Werder still pip Hamburg for second place. At the bottom of the Bundesliga, Kaiserslautern coach Wolfgang Wolf faced former club Wolfsburg in a relegation decider. Wolfsburg needed a draw to ensure their top-flight status, but Halil Altintop put Lautern ahead. The visitors looked comfortable with that lead until after the break. Cedric Macchiadi with the equaliser for Wolfsburg. Three minutes later, the match was turned on its head. Diego Klimovitz putting Wolfsburg ahead. Fighting for survival, the Red Devils came back. Marcel Zeimer with the equaliser, but it wasn't enough to save Kaiserslautern. In their penultimate match of the season, Barcelona faced a Sevilla team high after their UEFA Cup win. Both teams were saluted for their achievements this season before kick-off. With the Champions League final a few days away, Barca rested many of their top players. Frederic Canute had an early chance for Sevilla. Barca's reserves still pose a threat, but Maxi Lopez couldn't finish. Sevilla beat Middlesbrough 4-0 to claim the UEFA Cup in midweek, and they continued from where they left off. A brilliant strike by Daniel Alves. Sevilla still have hopes of a Champions League place. Their chances were given a further boost by winning a penalty. Aitor Othio made it 2-0. Barcelona were unbeaten in 13 going into the match. With half-time approaching, they pulled a goal back through Santiago Esquero. Moments later, Silvinho's cross made it 2-2. The ball judged to have crossed the line despite the protests. Midway through the second half, Sevilla regained the lead. Kepa Blanco with the goal. The striker's 6th of the season. And it all ended sourly for Barca. Defender Gabri sent off for using foul language. 3-2 it finished. Sevilla have one game left to secure that Champions League spot. Elsewhere, Espanyol hosted Real Sociedad. Espanyol had to win to preserve their top-flight status. Sociedad started stronger. But Espanyol were unlucky not to take the lead through Daniel Jaque. Espanyol came out fighting after half-time. Ferran Corominas saw his shot saved. Before going even closer moments later. The chances continued to fall Espanyol's way. Luis Garcia over the bar. Sociedad have hit form recently and guaranteed their top-flight status last week. With Alaves leading against Deportivo, Espanyol were heading for relegation. For all their chances, they just couldn't find an end product. In the closing stages, Sociedad pushed forward. Goalkeeper Gorka Eriazos kept them out. In injury time, one last desperate throw of the dice for Espanyol. Coraminas with a heroic strike. Espanyol was staying up. A late escape for Espanyol. In the Netherlands, Ajax took on PSV in the Gatorade Cup final. This was to be Gus Hiddinck's final match in charge of PSV. He leaves to take charge of the Russian national team. PSV won the cup last season and was straight on the attack. DeMarcus Beasley going close. Last week, Ajax qualified for the Champions League via the playoffs. Wesley Sneijder scored the vital goal. He went close to opening the scoring here. Straight after half-time, Ajax had the lead. Klaas-Jan Huntelaar with the goal. PSV are unbeaten domestically since before Christmas. And they were soon level. A great strike from Michael Lamy. Thomas Galasek was playing his farewell match for Ajax. A second yellow card saw it cut short, a sad end to his 6-year Ajax career. PSV began to use their one-man advantage. DeMarcus Beasley should have done better. It wasn't long, though, before PSV had their numbers reduced. A second yellow for Lame, ending his match. As the game reached its closing stages, the tackles began to fly and tempers boiled over. Still 1-1, extra time was looming. Step forward, Klaas-Jan Huntelaar. 2-1 in injury time. The cup was heading back to Amsterdam after 4 years away. Danny Blind securing his first trophy as Ajax coach, a week after leading his team to Champions League qualification. PSV's hopes of a second successive double are shattered.